when I chop. Hey, this video gonna make you drop. Hey, I got my money, you know what is up. Nigga, I'm playing like a cop. Hey, yeah, I'm playing cops and robbers. You're weak if you can't stop giving into your urges. You're weak if you can't control your negative desires. You're weak if you can't resist your temptations. Aren't you tired of hearing this shit by now, bro? And you probably try to implement this kind of thinking into your philosophy, but bro, let me just ask you, how is that shit going for you right now? Well, I'll let you know right now, bro, you're not alone, all right? You're amongst a large group of men who think they're weak because of their inability to tame their negative desires. Again, I'll ask you this. What is thinking that we're weak gonna do for us in the long run? Just think about that mindset. Giving in is not a sign of weakness, all right? It may seem like it's a sign of weakness among social media or anybody else is influencing you, but it's not a sign of weakness, all right? I used to think that every time I relapsed, every time I ate junk food, and every time I just let times in my life just slip by, I used to think that I was weak. But the desire to do those things wouldn't have come if I wasn't resisting from them in the first place, right? Obviously, if you notice now that you're not even resisting to do these bad things, then obviously you're weak. If you're not resisting to try to change your life and get your life in order, then obviously you're weak. But if you're resisting them, then that's a sign of strength. It's a sign of strength because honestly, you're tempted by whatever you deprive yourself of. Also, being able to do what you're doing with your time and energy is no longer serving you is a power in itself. Just look at the people who, drink their lives away, smoke their thoughts away, numb their fucking pain with arrogance, and just eat like crap on a daily basis and don't see what's wrong with it. I'm not really saying that's wrong or that's a bad thing to do, because who am I to dictate that? But it never usually leads to a prosperous life. Again, just look at the people who do those things and don't see an issue with it, and then look at you, my brother. Just look at you. You're someone who's just trying to get their life in order, someone who sees something wrong with what they're doing or sees something wrong with the way that they used to live their life. How can you look at a man like that, a man who's trying to progress to something? How can you look at a man like that and call him weak? How can you look at yourself, see the progress, and continue to call yourself weak? That's weak, bro. I used to do the exact same things, man. I'd see my progress and I'd tell myself, "Now we need to do more," whether it be comparing myself to social media or just being in war with who I want to become and understanding that that's a process to get to him. It's a process, and I have to overcome these barriers and walls to get to that person. All right, but I used to say things to my family members and my friends that would put me down in a way, and it was clear that you saw the progress. You saw the progress of, okay, yeah, I have lost weight. I'm not really a fat fuck anymore. We're getting my money up. I'm working really extremely hard, but yeah, I still have the desire and the urge to just tell people that I'm not, tell people I'm fat, tell people I'm lazy. It's not only a search for validation, but it's going to an external resource to find a way to give you more motivation in a negative way. Because, for example, what I used to do when I was chubby and when I was losing weight was like, okay, I was fat, I was losing weight, and I had no more motivation to go to the gym. So I'd tell people, yeah, I'm still fat. And then they would tell me I'm not fat. And I would use that and I'd frame it in a way that they're trying to make me feel good for actually being fat. And then that would give me more motivation in the gym. It's fucked up, isn't it? That's weak. I call that extremely weak, and you're a bitch if you continue to do that. And I'm mostly talking to my past self here when I refer to you as a bitch. And if you're doing that, you're a bitch. I'm dead ass. You're a bitch. Like, stop doing that. All right. So to conclude that, like, dude, you're not weak. All right. You're just in war with who you used to be, who you are right now, and who you want to become. And you've lost a couple of those wars, and you're going to continue to lose those wars for the rest of your life. And you need to accept the fact that you're forever going to take L's in your life, whether that be to pursuing business, to losing weight, or to becoming the best version of yourself. You're going to forever take those L's. And until then, if you don't accept the fact that you're always going to lose, you're always going to fall, you're always going to fail, you're always going to be in war with yourself, then you're constantly going to look at yourself in disgust, contempt, and you're just going to be angry. And once you have all that anger, you're just going to become like those people who can't even face that path. Like the ones who smoke their lives away, numb their pain with arrogance, and eat like shit. Because they can't face the path of being somebody who they don't fucking like. It's not even that it's a path, it's just a fact. All right, but there's obviously a path to accepting that person that you hate. And they can't even walk it. That's what I'm referring to. And again, you may want some more reassurance on how this could be a sign of strength, like not giving in or not having the ability to give in to your urges or having those urges in the first place is like, okay, another reason it's a sign of strength, or another reason not being able to grasp your negative desires is a sign of strength is because it's showing an external force on your efforts. It's showing an external force on your efforts. For some reason, there's someone or something out there who sees that you're trying to progress as a man and is grabbing that and trying to really stop you from reaching that, right? It could be the devil, because obviously he comes after those who deviate from the path of good, or it could be the universe, because it's trying to balance something that you put off by trying to be a righteous human being, or it could be your subconscious just aching to go back to that state of comfort, right? Whichever it may be, understand that you're getting those urges or those desires of evil for a reason. And the next time it comes around, I just hope you respond to it differently. The cycle of temptation. Think back to the time where you did something bad and you said you would never fucking do it again. It could be porn, it could be junk food, it could be video games, it could be eating out, or it could be talking to these beautiful ass females. I'm not saying talking to females is bad, but when you tell yourself you're not going to do it, but you continue to text these bitches up and chase them in ways that you know you shouldn't, then of course you're giving into some negative desires. But besides the point, again, just think about how many times you said you weren't going to do it before you did it again. And what did that cycle look like? I call it the cycle of temptation. What you get in the cycle of temptation is obviously temptation. Okay, after you get the temptation, what do? You give in to that temptation. Obviously, like you get the urge and you give in to the urge, right? And after you get that urge or that temptation, to do anything. I'm not just simply referring to sexual desires or sexual temptations, by the way. Once you get that, you give in, and then you get regret after that. You're pissed off at yourself, and then after you get motivation, you're like, yes, all right, we're gonna change. We're stop doing this. I'm cutting off all these hoes. I'm done beating my meat. All right, fuck it. We're not eating junk food anymore. Let's get these fucking push-ups in. And then after you do that, you have that motivation. You get the temptation again, and then what do? You give in, bro. Okay. You've repeated this cycle many times. And I've repeated this cycle many times. So what's missing here? Because it obviously doesn't work. A quick little quote here is to just, bro, don't ever expect your desires and temptations to go away, because they never will. God's testing you. The devil wants to win you over, and that war will never stop. But to touch on what's missing, to just put it simply, bro, it's discipline. And you may know this, or you probably heard of the corny, it's not motivation, it's discipline. Of course, we all know that, and we just need to take that a step further, because I just don't think anybody is. And we'll get into what I mean about discipline a little bit later. But this cycle of temptation will break. And here's how this is how we input discipline or disciplinary action. You have the temptation, you're going to give in again, you're going to have regret, and you're going to have motivation. But it's what you do after that motivation what matters. And I never knew this until now. This is a new discovery. All right, after you get that motivation, you need to take disciplinary action. And then after the disciplinary action, you're going to have less temptation, because you're never going to not have temptation or desires. People think that having desires to do horrible things and do evil is a bad thing, or that's something that could be dispensed with, but you can never get rid of the temptations or the urges. It's just natural. It's nature. But I never knew that you had to discipline yourself after you get motivation. Like I said, that is a new idea to me. Once you're able to figure out the disciplinary act that you need to take, you then need to put systems into place to prevent you from deviating from that path. And then once those systems fail, because they will fail over time until you build the right ones to have less and less failure. Once those systems fail, you need to accept the fact that it's all your fault. And I call this shit faulty systems. They're faulty systems, right? We all put these systems in our plate. We all put these systems in place for ourselves that were designed to fail. And it's designed to fail by us. And I'll give you a quick example here. Me, for example, or anybody. Say you want to stop ordering food online, right? You want to stop ordering food. You're like, okay, to stop ordering food, let me just do it once a week. Then you say, okay, maybe no, let me just take my card off the app. Then you say, nah, let's just delete the app. Then you'll say, okay, you know what? Now let's just take all of our money out of the account, so then we don't have to worry if I download the app and da 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 da. Just step out. Just step out and imagine if this was another person saying these things to you. Like you had a friend, he's saying, yeah, I'm gonna stop ordering food, and he gave you these steps and these outlines. You would look at him like a fucking dumbass, because you can obviously see the holes. You can obviously see the holes in that. You're gonna do it once a week. Okay, what's preventing you from doing it once a week? You're gonna take your card off that. Just type it back in again. That's easy thing to do. There's just flaws in the systems that you put up. All of these systems, like I said, they're designed to fail by you, because the you deep down inside, he does not want to stop. He doesn't want to stop, and what he's doing, your deep down, your subconscious, what he's doing is he's constantly looking back at his past self with nostalgia. And I don't know if you know anything about the biblical story. There's a biblical story about the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, and there was a couple in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah named Lot and his wife. I forgot his wife's name, but God came and he sent angels to destroy that city. And the city was evil. It was full of sin and prostitution and homosexuality and all this kind of stuff. So he sent Lot and his wife away. And what he said when they were leaving the city was like, whoever looks back at the city will be turned into salt. And lo and behold, him and his wife and his daughters, they all were going away from the city. And Lot's wife decided to look back at the city. And guess what? She was turned to salt. And the reason being is because she looked at her past self with nostalgia. She looked back at the person she used to be, the sinful city. She looked back at something that she was missing out on, or something she missed. And guess what? She was turned into salt. But one thing you got to realize now is that you're not going to be turned into salt right away. God's going to leave that city untouched. He's going to leave that past self untouched. You're always going to be able to go back and look at him and just wish that you were him again. He's not going to turn you into salt right away. But just wait, bro. But just wait. Another perspective of looking at this, if you don't necessarily believe in any of the biblical stories, is it's a merger of the subconscious and your conscious mind. Your subconscious is always going to want to be in a state of comfort, like I mentioned before, and your conscious is always kind of going to want to be moving forward. But sometimes those two things are going to merge together, and you want to avoid the merging of the subconscious, and or understand that the merging of the subconscious is going to happen. And what are you going to do when these two things merge? Are you going to allow one or the other to take over? And I do advocate for allowing the conscious mind to take over the subconscious, because the subconscious could be very fucking dark. But understand that you need to prevent the merger of these two things. And if the merging does happen, you need to be able to extrapolate yourself from your mind as a whole and look at what you need to do about that. See where the connection points are happening. What is causing your subconscious to want to take over your conscious mind? And then you need to put proper systems into place, ones that actually aren't designed to fail. And then obviously just understand that you have the ability to deceive yourself in any way. You can lie. You can say that you want to lose weight, but you don't really want to. You have the ability to deceive yourself, so understand that, okay? But taking complete responsibility of your internal fall throughs will just cause you to get more serious about them the second time around. So in conclusion, to conclude that point, you need to step back from the process of the cycle of temptation and see where you need to take action, and then take it. Because you have balls, or you're just a strong person. If you're a female watching this, you're a strong individual. So step back and see where you need to take action, and then take it. Or you need to also step back, see where you don't want to take action. What are the things you don't want to change? What are the desires that you don't want to stop giving into, that you know are causing a regression in your life? And then ask why. I can't do that shit for you. It's going to be on you to take out a pen and paper. All right. But then after you get all that shit down, you need to then get the fuck to work. Now we're going to get into how to tame your negative desires, because in conclusion, that's all that really fucking matters. How do we tame our negative desires? The first step to taming your negative desires is accepting the nature of them. You don't always have to look at your negative desires as bad, bro. Like, that's something that held me back a lot when I was getting over porn, and when I was stopping eating junk food, or any of the degenerative habits that I had. Okay, that's one thing. I thought the urges and the desires to do them were a bad thing. Okay, I'm like, oh, I have the urge to beat my meat right now, or watch pornography. I have the urge to eat junk food. I was like, I'm such a fucking bad person. And then I've numbed the feeling of looking at myself with contempt, with giving into the temptation. Okay, but now I look at it as like, damn, I want to call up that shorty right now. I want to have sex. I want to waste my time. I want to relax. I want to just do nothing. I'm having these urges right now. So that's a sign of growth. You have the urge to do all this bad stuff. Where's that coming from? It's coming from strength. There's an external force that is resisting against your efforts of becoming a better person. So therefore, you're a strong individual. You've been resisting for a long time. You've been depriving yourself for a long time. So you're getting the urge to give in. So it's not, you don't give in. You're like, whoa, I'm growing. Let's keep on going. I'm growing. And understand those urges and desires are going to continue to get stronger. Yes, of course. But again, it's a sign of growth, not failure. The second way you can start to tame your negative desires is to just channel them in ways that they weren't previously. And again, this can go into the topic of sexual transmutation, but we're not just talking about sexual desires. We're talking about negative desires in general and where the fuck they come from. You know, your desire for destruction and evil and all that kind of stuff. The urge to do all of those things, when they do come around and when they do start to eat you from inside out, just simply do something differently. Because, bro, if you continue to associate these urges or desires with the things that you previously associated them with, all the degenerative things, then your life and your goals and your body and your mind and your bank account and your love life and your family relationships will start to degenerate as well. And obviously, that's something we don't want. This is improvement here. This is self-improvement, any kind of improvement, just life improvement in general. So we don't want those things to degenerate, bro, because that's what we want to improve, right? So stop associating those things with that. All right, every time you get the desires and the urge to do those negative things, change the association with them. All right, now you have the desire to eat junk food or eat candy. Just really try hard. Let's just go get some fruits. Buy some fruits. For me, literally, it started like this. I was sometimes, if I wanted like candy from 7-Eleven or something, I'd eat 3 pieces out of the candy, and I would throw the bag in the garbage. The whole rest of the candy, I'd eat 2-3 pieces, because all I really wanted was that little sweetness. I don't want to eat that whole bag because I know how I'm going to feel after, but I just want that sweetness. So then I take 2, 3, throw it out, and then I realize, shit, I'm wasting my money. I don't do that. I know my value around money, so I'm not going to waste it. So then therefore, I just stop buying the candies and sweets in general. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because to this day, sometimes I'll still eat a whole bag.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
But it's way less. I'll eat a bag of candy maybe once every 2 months now, bro. So it's progress. And the third and final step to taming your negative desires is to just grasp them more aggressively when they come around. Okay, you relapsed. Grasp it. Okay, you wasted $150. Grasp it. Understand. All right, take responsibility, bro. It's more than taking responsibility. Like, grasp it. Okay, I did this. It was a mistake, right? Because think about it, bro. If you make a mistake in your workplace, in school, or in life in general, and everybody else around you in your association is facing the consequence of that mistake, you're going to work extremely hard to make sure that shit never happens again. So why don't you do this within? Your future self is watching, bro, so straighten the fuck up. To conclude my argument, man, I just want to help you understand that, like, the desire to do bad things and the desires to do evil, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person, especially if you've been depriving yourself from it from time to time to time to time. Because for example, if you deprive yourself from healthy food, or good food, or chicken and rice, or fruits and vegetables, if you deprive yourself of that for a long period of time, soon you're going to start to crave it, right? Obviously, maybe it's going to be, the degree might be lesser than if it was sweet or candy food or unhealthy, of course, but you're going to start to deprive yourself. You're going to start to crave it. My bad. I've done it myself. Like, if you drink pop all day, soon you're going to just want a bottle of water. Makes sense? So just switch them. Just switch them. Literally. But understand that you're not a weak individual. All right, you're not weak because you give in. You're not weak. You've just lost a couple wars, and you're going to continue to lose those wars. As cliche as it sounds, you just got to keep getting up. All right, that's all it is, bro. You just got to keep getting up. You're going to lose those wars no matter what. Accept the fact that you're going to lose those wars. You're not a perfect social media person who just goes through life on a daily basis, grinding 24/7 and doesn't fucking fall. That's not how it is. Okay, so just dispense with that idea. And then also, bro, we both have the ability to tame our desires. We both have the ability to break those cycles and find the strength that we have inside as young men. All right, so all we got to do is just keep on pushing, keep that foot on the gas. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop. So that's all it really is, man. I hope that kind of gives you motivation to stop kind of beating yourself up, because that self-hate that comes from looking at yourself as horrible just because you have the desires in the first place. And even if you give in, it just led to less progress in my life. So I hope that I can shorten that path for you. I hope you can now start to look at yourself as somebody who's strong and somebody who actually has the ability to just fight those wars and understand that he's going to lose, because the person you want to become is stronger than who you are right now. So of course, while you're on the road to becoming that person, of course he's going to beat your ass. Like, I've never thought of that until now. Of course he's going to beat your ass. So just keep learning on what it takes. Keep learning what it takes to become that man that you want to be in the future, and just keep facing your future self, because that's really, really and truly who you're battling with. You're battling with your future self and your past self, because your past self just wants to take you over again. He wants to cripple you up in that body, and your future self, he doesn't even fucking like you because you're not up to his standard. So get there. Love you. Start tomorrow strong, G. Peace.